you know, get in the line of the work. In the,
In the line of the work.
when
Thank
the
you,
tongue is
Jesus.
twisting, yeah. Okay. But today we are blessed with an amazing photographer. His name is Johnathan Ray Joseph, and he is the owner of Unlimited the Movement. And I'm just happy to have you here, Jonathan.
Happy to be here. Good evening, listeners. Good evening, Cliff and Michaela. Thank you for having me here.
Awesome, awesome. Let's get straight into it. So, Jonathan, what brought on the passion for photography?
It started about over 2 decades ago when I had a normal old camera with a spool, and everybody will remember that. We have to take it to the chemist to get it printed from the negative, and it was the worst ever because if you mess up a negative, you will never get it back. Over 20 years later, now you can just have it on an SD card, and it's so epic. Like, it's definitely epic. So that brought me to it. I was like 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm old.
But, the one thing about photography, and like Cliff said, we all think we can take pictures.
Yeah,
But there's just something about a good photographer that takes quality pictures, man.
yeah.
And it takes precision. It takes a visionary to get the angles right and everything
Yeah.
that just motivates you to take that amazing picture. So, like, where did the passion come from?
I think it is important that we need to acknowledge that we're not only photographers by trade, but we're also an artist. It's like Michelangelo will do a painting, and that guy will be seen for his artwork. And that is what I believe. I'm an artist, so whenever I create an image, the person who views the image must say like, wow. And that is what I get every time. I had a full female project 2 months ago, and the females replied and said, Jonathan, I can't believe this is me. So when I get that compliments, then I feel like, wow, job done. If I don't get the compliments, I say, Lord, let me do it again.
So tell us, what's your style of photography?
So I do events, but when I was known for my portrait work, and I did a lot of portrait work with a lot of females to bring them out of their insecurities and bring them to a place of confidence and self-beauty, because a lot of our females struggles with their own beauty. And I'm not talking about the younger generation. I'm talking about the more mature generation. And doing the projects with these women have really amplified my lifestyle photography, and capturing them has brought it out. So now today, after about 20 years, but 10 years official, I'm doing event photography and I'm doing portraits as well.
Okay. And how long has the business been operating?
In Cape Town, when I started officially, it was 10 years ago, but I've been doing it for over 20 years. I remember when I lived in Kempton Park by a guy named David. He inspired me when he showed me his big room of development and his big room of printing. I like, guy, I want to do this. And he said, yeah, you just need like 3 million rand. I said, okay, I can start somewhere. So he inspired me over 20 years ago, and then I started shooting for organizations for their documentaries, and that built my confidence more. And now I'm more into portraits because you can curate a different type of art in a portrait.
Yeah, that's powerful. So let me ask you, and I know you're probably going to say exactly what myself and Cliff said, but what is the other challenges that you would face in this line of work?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, like 10 years ago, we knew that there was about 13 clients per photographer. 10 years later, it's 13 photographers per client. So the challenge will be financially. So when you go into the market, people, because of COVID, they lost their jobs, but they bought cameras. So everybody today is a selfie camera person. But for us that has been here for quite some time, we know that it's not only the experience, but what you can give back to the client. And that's where I'm at right now.
And the name of the business is called Unlimited the Movement. Why?
Yeah, my heart is for people. My heart is for community. So back in 2016, I've done an event or a project shoot called Cancer Support Shoot. And that project was based on us as people who know of people that's got cancer or lost them via cancer. And that shoot was supported by about 70 females that came together to do that project for us. And my business name was first Unlimited Creations because I like creating. But I will never forget when my sister saw all these females at studio, she then said, this should be a movement. And since then, it's been a movement since 2016. But the movement is about inspiring people through photography, inspiring people to be more than just the obvious. So it's about taking young girls and young men from the streets, from our colored neighborhoods, and bringing them out and saying, you can also be that top European model. You just need to work on it a little better. So that's what I do in the community. Yeah.
Oh. What does it take to be a good photographer? Because, I mean, it cannot just take a
Overnight.
yeah, it cannot be an overnight thing, and it cannot just be a good phone with a so and so megapixel to get you there.
Yeah.
What does it take to be a good photographer?
Your patience, eh? Patience, and there's nothing more I can say this, but I'm inspired by a lot of other photographers in my field, especially those who does landscaping. And you have to understand, if you're going to the beach, you need to know what time you need to be there. So if you're there at 2 o'clock, you need to know that sun will set at 6:30. So you need to have patience for that sun to set. The same in my line of work. You can't rush this, because if you rush an image, you will see it will be blurry or anything like that. But you just need to have patience, and you need to have the charisma, because you can't treat people like you treat a car. A car you can push off the way, a person you can't. So your charisma and your character and your patience to it must be there, because I've seen how many people fail because of their attitude. So when the attitude is not right, the charisma is not right, the character is not right. So this is the art. You can't just use the photography as a business. If you fail as a business, you fail your art. But if you just mature your artwork in this, you mature your business as well.
So true. I wanted to say that, okay, so how would it be when working in this line of work and you get those quiet moments? What do you do as a photographer in those quiet moments? Because like you said, there is so many, there's like 13 photographers for one person nowadays. So in that situation, how do you, one, make yourself better than everyone else? And what do you do when you are not chosen? How do you come back from that?
Yeah, so I can honestly tell you COVID did that to all of us. But it took a lot of social media time, because you need to understand there's photographers all over the world. And social media played a big role during COVID period, because remember when our president said from the 27th of March, I believe, there will be no more outside, and I'm an outside guy. I ended my last film project, the 27th of March. I had to go home. I lost everything. I lost finances, I lost business, I lost events. And then all I had to do was to believe, because my belief system comes from God, who gave me this opportunity to be a photographer. This is something I'm always grateful for, that even though this is a talent, this is an art, it's a gift. And my gift needs to multiply. So I use this gift to train others, to equip others, to understand that when you use this photography, make the most of it. So in my time now, I believe that my faith keeps me through every situation, every problem, every storm. My faith continues to remind me, take that pictures. I wish I was in the Bible times to take a picture of the ocean when Noah split it. Or Moses in the basket. There's crazy pictures. Or just
So
David
true.
dancing naked.
So true. You can hear the hear the passion.
I love that, man.
One more thing I wanted to ask was, what kind of tips can you give to those photographers out there doing events? And before we get into that, I know we love those stories, those juicy stories. So is there any story that you can tell us from an experience when you were doing an event or something, and you realize, wait, I need to learn from this experience?
Yeah, I think also as a photographer today, my friend, I'm not going to mention his name, he bought a camera worth 70,000 rand, 70,000, 170. And it just reminded me the value of what we do. And just repeat your question again.
So what experience did you have that actually taught you something?
So there was a time when I went to shoot and my SD card was not in the camera. And I was already at location and the models were over there. And then the one model said, but Johnathan, you can use your phone. That time I had a quiet phone. And for me, that was the best thing ever when a person told me, Johnathan, but you're an artist before the camera. And a lot of people need to understand, the camera doesn't make the picture. You as the artist make the picture. And that was the important part of that whole story for me. So a tip to everybody, have patience and create in your mind or create on a blue board or a whiteboard before you go to the event, before you do your portrait.
I have everything in check, everything intact.
Check that your bag is packed, right? Check that your lighting is there, your batteries are charged, check that everything is sorted out. And that is where we miss the pun at the end of the day. So make sure that everything is there and just pray. Or if you don't pray, meditate, to do something before you go to the shoot, because it can be stressful.
Wow. Thank you so much, Johnathan. Oh my word, that is such a blessing. And it's such a blessing to have you with us.
Totally.
I can clearly see that there's no point in you using your cool phone to take a picture. Get a professional to do it, man.
No, don't get a professional. Practice and become a professional.
At what
There we
point, though?
go.
Well, you need to learn.
At what point are you like
Can you say?
Oh,
I'm a
I've learned
professional.
this. I've learned this from another friend last week via YouTube, actually.
Uh-huh.
He said you're never a professional until somebody acknowledges you
As
So-
a professional.
as a professional.
Wow.
When you
Okay.
take the right picture, let somebody acknowledge it. And if they don't like it, take again.
Nice.
But you shouldn't ask your family because they always on your
Oh,
side.
and they will never pay you for. No, I lie. My family, they pay. But just try your friends. And
Yeah.
also, social media is your friend. They will tell you if they like it or not.
Yeah.
How does one get a hold of you, Jonathan?
So people can contact me via WhatsApp. On Facebook, it is Unlimited the Movement. And we also got TikTok, Unlimited the Movement. All over social media, Unlimited the Movement. It's one word. And can I give my WhatsApp number?
Go for it.
So my WhatsApp number is 076 219 7754. 076 219 7754. I like hearing my voice. I like it.
And then also, just before we say goodbye to you, Jonathan, just very quickly, do me a favor. Just go around to Michaela. Have a look at those pictures very quickly because Hendrik,
inspired.
I don't want to judge people's work.
Hendrik
I
just
love-
sent a message now. I mean,
Ooh.
and he sent a bunch of pictures and he's asking, listen, what do you think about these pictures that I took? And I tell you what, some of these pictures are just sensational. I mean, the view.
come on.
Hendrik is sending us pictures of what the
Yes.
place looks like at the moment. The sky looks
Hendrik,
ravishing.
you're making
looks
me cry
cool,
inside my heart.
looks
bruh.
beautiful,
Please.
doesn't it?
You know, when you look at the clouds, people always think like it's just clouds, but if you concentrate on the clouds, you can see pictures. You need to have that creative mindset, and Hendrik was at the right spot at the right time. Hendrik, your work is beautiful. You need to start selling, brother. You
And
need to
there
start
you
selling.
have it. Awesome. And that comes from a professional there, Hendrik. So dankie. Okay. Jy is 'n lekker persoon, Hendrik. Jy is baie kwaai. You're the brainiac, you're a photographer. Come on, Hendrik. Right.
Multi-talented.
You're multi-talented. We're about to say our goodbyes in just a moment. And of course, we are going to be praying for some of you as well. But before we do any of that as well, we need to get through a couple of other things. But we also need to say thank you to you, Jonathan, for coming
Yeah.
in, man. I mean, what a conversation this was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It
And I
was
love how it
really good.
inspired you guys out there to send pictures, Hendrik to send your pictures. It was really so blessed.
Can I say this to Hendrik and to everybody else listening to this?
Mm-hmm.
You're never too old to start. You're never too young to end. So whenever you take a picture, let it be the best moment of your entire life.
Wow.
And you can always go back to that best moment and say, I took that picture. And just hang it up in your wall. I mean, hang it up in your, where is it now?
House.
In your house, yeah. Let's say the castle.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We absolutely
Pleasure.
appreciate that. What?